I guess this will be my first true Marvel Rivals rant video. This is just meant to address some problems with the game to help you have a better time and enjoy yourself more, cause remember, this is a game to have fun. But it seems like people are stressed about every little thing in this game, and people are trying to paint this game much worse and much more toxic than it actually is. Don't get me wrong, it has its problems and it does have its toxicity, but this isn't the most toxic game of all time like people like to think it is. It truly does feel like, despite the game not being perfect, it is a good game, a good quality game, and it has devs that care and listen. But most of the negativity surrounding this game is fabricated out of thin air. People are convinced that they're losing or stuck in a rank because of matchmaking. Everybody has a huge ego and is terrified of losing. They're terrified of their rank. You have all three roles turning on each other, blaming each other, screaming at each other. People trying to belittle you because of the character that you like or want to play. People trying to micromanage how you play, telling you to switch. I can't get over how many people think that they're stuck in a rank because, oh, I get DQs, I get people leaving the game early. It's toxic players, I get bad teammates, matchmaking's out to get me, like, it's crazy. It's not to say that this game doesn't have some legitimate problems that need to be fixed like any other game, but it is blown way out of proportion in my opinion, so I want to address everything in this video, go over all of it. My goal in this video is to help change your perspective a little bit so you can actually just enjoy the game more. And in turn, it will actually help you play better and actually win more, believe it or not. This game is not out to get you as much as you think, it's not dying like everyone says. Games lose momentum over time, this is natural. And for full transparency, this is the first hero shooter that I've ever really got invested in. I come from a background of competitive fighting games like Super Smash Bros. And Mortal Kombat. Both games that are equally as toxic in my opinions, probably even worse, but that's my perspective of having 12 plus years of dealing with that toxicity. So anyways, let's just get into the video and go over everything, and let's start with the roles. You know, it seems like each role bands together and it's always the other person's fault. It's the blame game. And again, somebody that comes from a fighting game, competitive background, I always get a kick out of how everyone turns and blames each other the minute things go sour in this game. Because this game requires teamwork and cooperation. Half the matches you lose, it's not because you have trash teammates like you think. You're all in the same rank for a reason. 80 to 90% of the time, it's teamwork, cooperation, communication, and just being positive with your teammates. People do not respond to being yelled at or screamed at. But let's just start with the roles first because I have a good perspective of all three. I know the frustrations of being a healer, and I know the frustrations of both being a DPS and tank. Let's start with the most obvious one and the most criticized, the healers. It is an undeniable fact that healing is the easiest role on average. There's obviously healers that need a higher skill ceiling in practice, like Loki or Luna Snow, but overall, on average, it's the easiest role to play. You sit in the backlines, you heal, you can get some damage in, try to get some kills, try to avoid the dive, that's the biggest one, because even good Hela, Magneto players are not oppressive like a Black Panther in your backlines. People don't mind losing, they just don't want to be miserable while doing it. Overall, it's just the easiest role to mask having a pretty mediocre or crappy game, like you can disguise it with stat padding, getting kills by association, not having any big clutch moments or really doing anything significant, but just had a mediocre game that looks better on the stat sheet. However, now talking about something that non-healers don't appreciate is the fact that healing is the most important role. Out of all three roles, that is the one role you want to make sure you at least have two, or you're not going to win, like it's near impossible. Unless you're playing a team that's way below your skill level, by far it's hardest to win without healers. And everyone's targeting the healers because of that fact. So as a healer player, there's a lot of pressure to be the glue. As a healer, you can make a bad DPS and bad tank look way better than they are. You gotta try to survive as much as possible. Everyone's gonna be pinging you all game. DPS with huge egos will blame you if they're having a bad game or getting diffed. Healer is the most important role and everyone's targeting you. Every single ultimate's coming for your head. I remember having a game in competitive recently with a Punisher player on my team. We steamrolled on offense and we nearly held the team in spawn on defense. But we had one bad play, lost some momentum, not the end of the world, but our team collapsed right after that. We lost. And it all started from a Punisher player screaming at me, saying awful things. I've been playing games a long time, toxic people don't really get to me, but I couldn't get over how quickly this guy derailed from having one bad play when we just were doing so well. I was the ace on our team, and I was having a great game as Invisible Woman. But the Iron Man on the other team was diffing our Punisher and he could not handle it, and he completely threw the game for us after that. Healers have to deal and take a lot of shit. If you are going to auto-lock DPS, then fine. It's a video game at the end of the day, everyone should play who the hell they want. Unless you're just in competitive and absolutely throwing, or you play this game for money or for an income, it's a game. Have fun, play who you want. But if your healers are getting trashed on in the backlines, like, help them or don't complain. And if you're somebody that complains about healing, oh, healing sucked, then get on the heals then, be the good healer. It's all on you then, do it. Show us what a good healer can do. Put your money where your mouth is. It's obviously frustrating having a bad healer on your team. We all know when this happens, but that is somebody trying to learn the game and learn the role. Why on earth would you trash on them? Give them pointers, help them, encourage them. Do you not want to have more healer mains in this game? Don't shit on people for trying to learn, calling them trash. They're doing their best, they're learning. People have the audacity to complain about which healer you pick, like, dude, I'm healing. Thank your lucky stars you have some healers in this game so you can go DPS. Don't complain. I see so many people complain about people picking Jeff, like, oh, we have a Jeff, can you pick somebody else? Like, stop telling people how to play the game and have fun. This is a game, okay? If you lose, it's not going to be because you have a Jeff on your team, unless the Jeff is terrible. But even still, help them get better. I saw people complaining because we had a Luna Snow that wasn't the best, but she had the new summer skin. So obviously this player was trying to learn Luna Snow because they like the skin. Who cares? This is a good thing to have. This is a great problem. In about a month or two, if they stick with that character, we're going to have a good healer on our hands here. Like, what are we doing here? Stop trashing on healers, it's ridiculous. Help them, protect them. And if not, then get on the heals yourself, stop complaining. And healer mains, don't just not heal somebody out of spite, that's terrible behavior. Even the DPS need to be healed. And I'll say this as a DPS and as a tank player too, they should add a whole new stat line for each individual character that's healing received. So then the DPS players that bitch about not getting healed, you'll have proof. And it will expose the toxic healers that complain that their DPS isn't getting any kills, yet they are actually not getting healed, you can see it. Now I'm going to change my perspective to a DPS player when I play DPS. Something that nobody really acknowledges and that's hard as a DPS is you really have to put yourself out there. It is very hard as a DPS to mask a bad game. Especially if you're dive, because you're going to be missing your combos, you're going to be overextending and dying, you can't mask that up. And yeah, sometimes you do get healers that barely heal you as a DPS, like barely. You could be right in front of them, you could peel right back to them. They ain't healing you whether they're just oblivious or they're doing it out of spite. Then you'll usually get a toxic comment like DPS diff or our DPS is trash, they're not doing anything. When in reality, you're squaring up with their healers in DPS and their DPS is getting healed non-stop. Sometimes it feels like as Magic, for example, I'm fighting a Moon Knight or a Bucky. They're getting healed constantly, I'm not getting healed at all game. It feels like I'm fighting a mini boss battle. With stages, like, I have to go through so many hurdles to get one pick, because their Moon Knight would have been dead 10 times over, but they're getting healed. Being a DPS player fighting other DPS, when the other team's healers are just immaculate, healing them non-stop and you're not getting healed, is near impossible to get kills. And much like I just said, you should not trash on people trying to learn healer. As much as we all hate insta-lock DPSs and there's too many in the game, we also can't really trash on people for trying to learn that role either. Again, yesterday I was playing quick play and we had a Psylocke in our match. I played quite a bit of Psylocke and this Psylocke was not great. They were basically hanging out in our backlines, just kind of poking. Not really flanking, not able to secure kills. They weren't terrible though, like they weren't bad. You could tell it was like a decent player trying a new character. And then our healers were absolutely laying into this person. Then they jump on the mic and they're like, yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to learn the character, that's why I'm in quick play. And they were still trashing on him. I'm like, why are you guys freaking out on him? It's fine, it's a game. He was upfront that he's trying to learn this character, why are we giving him a hard time? And it wasn't like he was completely throwing, like I think he was like 10 and 5, it was fine, it wasn't the end of the world. I honestly think the stigma between DPS and healers just needs to dial back a little bit. Everyone just needs to chillax and play what they like it's a game. It's also inevitable that most people will select the DPS because there's just more characters in the DPS category, by far, and a lot of the more popular ones. I have a kid that loves Spider-Man. When he gets old enough to play this game, he's probably going to pick Spider-Man. He's going to be that insta-lock Spider-Man that people are going to jump on the mic 3 times his age and ream him out. He's not even going to know what he's doing wrong. He's just trying to play Spider-Man, have a good time, he loves the character, I don't know. They simply just need to add more healers and more tanks to sparse out the player base a bit. And even when they do add a new healer with a cool gimmick like Ultron's fun because he can DPS and heal, enticing more DPS players to fill now. But then people will complain Ultron's healing isn't enough. Oh, he's focusing on DPSing too much instead of healing. What are we complaining about here? That's a good thing. We want healers to do damage. We complain all the time we want them to do damage, and yet when they start doing damage, we complain. And as for the DPS mains out there, you're expected to clutch, you're expected to get those big kills. It's hard to mask a bad game, and it's always a mixed bag whether you're going to get healed yourself or not. But you are playing the most dominant role in the game. Do your best, have fun, and if you don't like your heals, maybe it's time to flex a little bit. But rather than trash on your DPS, maybe check if you are actually healing them as much as you think you are. Drop the stigma towards the DPS players and actually just try to help make them better, elevate them, heal them. If they don't peel for you and you're getting backline, then that's on them. As for the tank role, man, I already made a video talking about the problem with tank. Tank is the most grueling role in the game, and usually you can only get one. I don't want to repeat a lot of my last video, I went over a lot of this, but overall they just need more tanks that do a wider variety of things. You can only play solo tank for so long, it becomes boring, monotonous, it more or less becomes a chore. You have to take space, you have to fight 2 tanks by yourself, you have to protect your healers while your DPS are off doing God knows what. There really isn't too much negatively I can say about tank mains, because they're doing a service to all of us. And it feels to me at least, out of all 3 roles, tank players complain the least. When their characters get nerfed, they complain about DPS and healing a lot less. The only thing I can say about tank players that is kind of negative is sometimes tank players feel like they should be heal botted all game. They don't peel for any health packs, they don't use coverage, they just rely on their healer to be behind them spamming the heals. So the minute things get sour, they can't even survive. Overall, I'm somebody that plays all 3 roles and I feel the frustrations from the perspective of all 3 roles. It's nice to have a perspective from all points of view, and I know a lot of people just play a specific role or character, or maybe just a couple characters from a specific role. I personally think it would do everyone some good to flex a little bit more. Learn the other roles and the frustrations that come with it. It'll give you more appreciation of the other roles, but it will also help you understand where they're coming from and help you be a better teammate. People have to stop obsessing over characters and having a certain amount in each team comp. And people also have to stop obsessing over losing. People are so scared to lose in this game, and it's crazy. I've never seen a game like that. Out of any game I've ever played in my 30 years, people are terrified to lose. They'll freak out and turn on you on a dime, depending on who you're playing if you're not doing good enough. Why is everyone so scared to lose, even in ranked? Who cares? Are you getting paid to play this game? It's a game. Lighten up and relax. I found myself winning way more and doing way better. But more importantly, I've been having so much fun now, playing ranked. I'm not too worried about my rank if I win or lose. And as a result, my winning percentages in competitive have gone up. And I'll be honest, I used to be stressed about my rank, but I don't care anymore. I know I'll rank up as I need to. I have 2 kids, I have a family, I have a full-time job, I make content for other video games as well. And when I actually sit down to play ranked, I want to be focused and actually be a good teammate, play well. But I haven't had the time or chance to do that, so I've been stuck in Plat 2. I finished last season in Grandmaster, I went back down to Gold 1 and immediately climbed to Plat 2. I also made a second account and I climbed back to Plat pretty much within a day. Pretty much debunking this whole you get stuck because of bad teammates, matchmaking, or people just disconnecting. If you are truly better than the rank that you're supposedly stuck in, then you will climb out inevitably. A lot of the fear of losing in this game does come from people stressing about their rank, and we'll talk about that later in the video, but it's okay to be stuck in a rank for a while. And it's not always something to do with your skill level. Sometimes you're just busy and don't have the time. I played a competitive game recently where we had 4 DPS and 2 healers. Somebody was already freaking out and getting negative. We steamrolled them. We dominated. I've played many games in competitive this season already where I'm solo tanking. That's fine. Is what it is. We'll figure it out as we go. Be positive on the mic. Talk to your team. Encourage them. Give them props when they do good. You don't just have to call out the bad things, you can acknowledge the good things too. If you want somebody to switch or pull their weight, ask them in a nice way. In any given game, there has to be at least one team that loses every single time. It's not always a big conspiracy of, oh, matchmaking got me in loser's queue. Oh, it's my team. I get bad teammates. I hear this all the time. No. Just try to play your best. Have the mindset of, if I'm not going to win, give them hell. Get as many kills, heal as much as you can, do the best you can. Play the game, have fun, play who you want, have fun. I'm telling you, you'll win more, and you'll appreciate the other roles more. Last season, without even realizing it, I was stressing about, oh, well, we need this character, I should fill. Oh, I should play that. Oh, I was overthinking everything. I want to counter this character. I had a couple bad plays where I went 0-2 as Magic, and then I'd switch off right away. This season, I go 0-2, whatever. I've had games where I start like that and I get MVP. Yeah, if I go like 0-3 or 0-4, then I'll probably switch. Like, I'm not trying to throw, that's not what I'm saying. More times than not. If I have a slow start now, I'm just like, it's a game. Like, I know I'm going to pick up. I'm going to get some momentum. I'm going to get some kills. If I'm healer and I'm dealing with a Black Panther in the back lines, rather than stress about it, I'm going to try to mess with him. I'm not going to let him kill me all game. I actually had a game not that long ago, and the Black Panther that was absolutely destroying us, we started actually getting to him and he quit before the match was even over. Like, he was getting frustrated. As a tank, it sucks to solo tank, but rather than dread it, I've been actually looking forward to it and actually just trying to have fun with it. It kind of feels badass if I can play a competitive game and completely outwork 2 tanks against 1. I take huge pride in that as an Emma Frost main. I'll gladly take on 2 tanks by myself. I hope that sounded and came off the way I meant it. But you get my point. Stop being afraid of losing. Stop overthinking it. Stop worrying so much about, oh, we got 3 DPS or this or that. Like, just play. I've left spawn with 5 DPS and 1 healer and destroyed in domination in competitive. I'm not saying this is always going to work and that this is good. I'm just saying, like, naturally your team will adjust and people will switch as it goes. The difference was, on our team, everyone was having fun and everyone was chill. They're laughing. They're having a good time. It makes me feel in those moments like we're gonna win no matter what. People will adjust and switch as they need to. I would also rather have everyone playing their main and their best character over just trying to fill a role to have a 2-2-2 any day of the week. I also remember another competitive game I had the other day where I picked Magic and the other DPS on our team picked Scarlet Witch. Then they finally asked me, do you mind if I have Magic? And I asked them, is that your main, like the only character you play? And they're like, kind of yes. And then I'm like, well, the fact that you're on Scarlet Witch kind of says yes, because you're absolutely filling right now. So yeah, have your main, I'll play Emma Frost, I'll tank, it's fine. They were super happy, and we had the easiest steamroll of a game you could imagine. Everyone had good vibes, everyone was talking, healers were pinging to let me know to turn around if they need my help. I was solo tanking, but I was playing real aggressive to the other healers with our Magic, and the other team might have thought they were in loser queue, but in reality, they're up against a brick wall because our teams just got good energy, good vibes, and everyone's communicating, and the entire conversation started just by a person asking me for my character nicely. Dropping your ego in this game will help you a ton to just have fun, and not get stressed out about what everyone else is doing or playing. Screaming at your team is never going to work, no matter what role you're in. And you might think that the game's out to get you, you're the main character, matchmaking's out to get you, you always get bad teammates, that's why you're stuck. No. Your teammates are in the same rank as you, and they think you're the bad teammate in their own story, in their own perspective. I'm telling you, this way of thinking will set you free and help you enjoy the game in a way that you probably haven't in a while. And something I actually found too is it's boosting my confidence a lot. Now, I'm not saying that poor matchmaking doesn't exist, because it does, both quick play and competitive. Sometimes you can tell when you're put on a team meant to lose. But this isn't why you're stuck. And it's not that big of a deal. Most games have this implemented. It's not something just exclusive to Marvel Rivals. Also, sometimes it's not that your teammates are terrible. It's not always this big thing where your teammates suck and you're the only good one. Sometimes your team just doesn't gel well. If you use a sports analogy here, can you imagine being placed on a new team every single match or every single game, like if you're playing basketball or hockey, football? I guarantee you these so-called bad teammates you always have, if you got to play 10 games in a row and actually communicate, build some chemistry, you guys would be insanely good. You're placed with randoms every time if you solo queue, so naturally not solo queuing is the way to go if you really hate bad teammates and losing, but more times than not, it comes down to who builds chemistry quicker, who communicates the best, and sometimes, believe it or not, the other team is just simply better. Overall, on average, their 6 players are just simply better together and just better in general. And as for people that disconnect, I've actually had to disconnect from a couple competitive games myself, and I'm not proud of it, I don't like doing that. But again, I have kids, I have a family, I have responsibilities, and sometimes it's inevitable, or sometimes I lose power. Things happen, it's not always people just raging and just trying to sabotage. There are thousands and even millions of people that play this game. They all have lives, and they have things going on, it happens. 2 games in recent memory that I played in competitive, both of them we had a disconnect. One was a convoy map halfway through, and it was so discouraging because we had such good momentum, like we were going to win. We stopped them just before the end, so it was 2-0, and they disconnected right before the second checkpoint. But me and this Mr. Fantastic player, we started getting on the mic and started encouraging everyone, like, we got this, guys, lock in, like, we can do this, we're the better team. It was grueling, but we won. 5v6, we still won. Then there was another match where we were playing domination. We won the first round like easy. We were clearly the better team. The second round though, we had a disconnect, and then we got steamrolled. So in the third round, somebody wanted to forfeit, and we're like, no, I'll go third healer. I went Rocket Raccoon because our Bucky and our Emma Frost were doing well. So we ran 3 healers, a tank, and a DPS. We were 5v6, and man, both teams got it to 99%, and it came down to the final battle. We lost, but that was one of the funnest games I've ever played. We almost won short-handed, clean. And let me tell you, I'll remember that game for months to come. I couldn't even tell you a match that I played a week ago, even if I got MVP, like I don't even remember. But I'm going to remember that match because we all banded together and almost won, short-handed, and we had a lot of fun. Just the other day, I was playing quick play and we all insta-locked DPS and we're all laughing like, let's do it. Nobody switched. We lost. We almost won, but we just didn't have healers and we never had healer ults, so we ended up losing. Then we all played the second round. All healers. All our best Lord healers. We won easily. Then the third round, we all went out as tanks and refused to switch. We didn't do so well, but man, we were laughing the whole time, and these are just random people I'm playing with. It's okay to have fun and mess around too, it's not that serious. Unless you're making money in tournaments playing this game, it's not the end of the world. I'm not saying you should throw games by any means, absolutely not, but if you just let it go and just have fun, stressing about what rank you are, being afraid to lose, having the perfect team comp, I'm telling you right now, you're not just going to have more fun playing, you're going to win more and you're going to gain more confidence. Which sort of brings me to my next point. The reason why people are so afraid of losing this game, which causes them to freak out about what character, oh, you're playing Jeff, good game, we lose. All these crazy reactions, people are afraid, especially in ranked, because I'm assuming they watch content creators or bigger Marvel Rivals content creators, people that stream the game, and they're afraid of being in low elo or just not having a good opinion. Their ego gets really hurt for some reason, like, who gives a shit what rank you're in? Most of these people that play all day, every day, like 8 to 10 hours a day, are going to rank up quick. It's inevitable. They're going to hit Grandmaster, Celestial, even if they're solo queuing. Most of them are not solo queuing, by the way. But even if they are, they're also really good because they play a lot. They're professional, a lot of them. But they have the time to grind ranked. Ranked games can take longer than quick play because you have 2 sides. Especially if it's an even matched game, it can take like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Unless you have the time to play 10 hours a day, like, yeah, you're gonna rank up slower. And then it creates this stigma in limbo where people are afraid to not rank up fast enough. Then you got a whole batch of casual players that simply want to just play the game and they're learning, but they're getting yelled at because they're holding these people back that want to rank up. Rank up at your own pace with whatever you have going on in your life. And it's okay to take a season off from playing ranked or stressing about what rank you hit. Nobody cares, nobody's monitoring it, and it's not a big deal. I was able to hit Grandmaster in Season 1 and Season 2, it's something I was really wanting to do and I stressed about, and now I could care less. Eventually I want to hit Celestial and actually have the time to grind rank, but in the meantime it is what it is. I'm just playing this game to have fun now. That's what you play video games for. If I have a teammate that's not really that good or doesn't know the role, I'll ask if they're failing, if they need help, if they want to switch. Try to be polite and give them some pointers. If they're mean or take it the wrong way or their ego doesn't allow that, then I'll just leave it be. It can sometimes feel like, especially solo queuing, yet you're rolling the dice with your teammates. Obviously, that's exactly what's happening. You're rolling the dice and it's a 50-50. One team has to lose every single time. The only thing that you can do is control how you play. Even if you're the clear best player on your team, critique yourself, wonder what you could have done better. Watch your own replays. If you are very concerned with getting better, ranking up, and you want to get better, then ask for some coaching from a professional. There's a lot of them that are offering coaching lessons. Why not? Go and ask them what you're doing wrong, what you could do better. There's a lot of players in this game that reach eternity or one above all that offer coaching. If it's that important to you or you're stressing out about having a Jeff the Shark or something to that effect, then maybe you should get some coaching. It'll help you climb. You won't have to rely on anyone. You're gonna hit certain barriers or thresholds and plateau at some point, especially if you have other things in your life. It's just the way it is. Now, to address some actual problems in this game they do need to fix, one is adding more vanguards and strategists. They need more. The discrepancy between the three roles is too big. Naturally, people are going to pick DPS more often because there's just more characters to resonate with and to select from. There's just more choice. It is what it is. It's not really anyone's true fault. It's not like DPS players are trying to ruin everyone's good time. Most people are just playing this game casually and trying to select the character they like. Maybe they play twice a week for a couple hours after work, like who knows? And although I don't think matchmaking is a crutch to blame for being stuck in a rank, they do need to tweak and fix it a bit, especially in quick play. You get a wide assortment of players that are easily in eternity or above, players that are middle of the pack and complete beginners, and it's almost never spaced out evenly. You'll get one team that's trapped in spawn and the other team that's steamrolling, like all the Eternity and Grandmaster players are put on one team, and the other team's like all bronze and just newbies. No wonder it's going to ruin the experience. For the new players, they're never going to get a chance to get into the game. I first downloaded this game in Season 0 and I was terrible. I didn't know what I was doing. It takes some time to get into the game and you need to be put in lobbies where you can actually learn and not just get absolutely dominated. You need time to actually learn how to play the characters, how they work and function, learn positioning, team comps, why you're getting dominated, what's the most oppressive player on the other team. So without a doubt, definitely there is some things they could work on, things they could fix. As far as character buffs and nerfs, at the end of the day, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Characters like Black Panther and Spider-Man are oppressive because they require your entire team to coordinate to counter them. I can counter a Black Panther no problem, but it's not fun. And it's not fun if I have to do it all the time. That's why characters like Magneto, Hela, they don't get nerfed really because they're not oppressive that way. It's hard for them to buff a character like Thor even though he needs it because a good Thor is in your face all game bashing you around. A character like Thor and Captain America are not going to get buffed the same way because they're oppressive and they're a nightmare to deal with. Even though they technically could use some buffs, to the casual player they are oppressive. They make the game unfun, and a casual player is not going to know how to counter, and even if they do, it's not fun to counter. It's not fun to always have to counter these characters. That is why certain characters get buffed and nerfed to oblivion on a consistent basis, while others are top tier all along. Iron Fist had one half of a season to shine, and they nerfed him right away. When it comes to that, it simply is what it is. Used to have these problems in Super Smash Bros. 2. They would nerf certain characters that didn't need it. Bottom tier characters never got those buffs they needed. It was the exact same thing. Because they're going to cater to the vast majority of the casual player base. Those are their main target audience, not the super competitive players. Believe it or not. That is just a reality. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, it just is what it is. If the game isn't fun for casual players, then casual players will not find it fun on their downtime and want to play. Now, before I actually wrap the video up, I want to give a few quick tips to help you get better, help you play better, and help you win. They're all things that don't have anything to do with actually physically controlling your character or being mechanically good at the game. One is super obvious. Even if you're on a losing team, encourage them and say nice things. You'll be surprised how much this helps and how much this can actually help you turn around a bad game. Like I said, I've won games 5v6 were shorthanded, simply because we were encouraging and saying positive things on the mic. Learn positioning, being able to recognize the enemy team's best player and single them out and counter them. I can't believe how many people can't recognize what's oppressing us on the enemy team. If it's an Iron Man, a BP, a certain tank, sometimes it's a Loki or an Adam Warlock. Being able to recognize that quick can help you turn a game around. Tip number 3, don't panic. I can't even tell you how many times people are ready to throw in the towel or throw because we lost the first 2 minutes of the match. You'd be surprised how many times in this game the team that starts out hot and heavy ends up losing. Momentum's a huge thing, and momentum can shift on a dime in this game, so don't give up, keep playing. Tip number 4, and this kind of piggybacks off the last tip. Don't give up on the character that you selected because you had a few bad plays or you died a couple times. Stick with it if it's your best character. Give it a few more chances before you switch. Don't panic, be confident. If you do get bad teammates that are freaking out and blaming everyone else, ignore them. Because I'm telling you right now, they're going to be stuck all the time. They're always going to think everyone else is the problem. Their ego's going to hold them back. Top 500 players. Don't blame anyone but themselves. Even if they're the best player on their team, if you actually ask a top 500 player, they're always looking to critique themselves. And they're always beating themselves up because they could have done better. Even if to everyone else they had a really amazing game, they're always watching their own replays and trying to correct mistakes they make. They're not blaming the bad healer they had on their team or anything like that, and that's what makes them best top 500 players. You can't be that good at the game and have an ego. If you're getting diffed by the other team and their DPS, maybe they're using the same DPS as your main. That can hurt your ego. When you're at that level of play, you can't let it. Every game is different. Sometimes you have bad games, sometimes you have great games. You have to be able to adapt and do the best you can at every given moment. And if you do feel that you're stuck in a ranked or not really getting any better recently, watch the top players that play your character. You're guaranteed going to learn tips and tricks that you didn't know. How to hit combos better, how to position better, how to kill better. They are the best for a reason, so watch them and learn. And finally, if you're burnt from this game or need a break, by all means, take the break. Being burnt on this game and playing through it is not good, it's not healthy, and you will play worse, whether you realize it or not. Recently, I remember having an Iron Man in competitive, and he was like, I'm on a 6-game losing streak. He was super down on himself, and I remember joking like, dude, I'm on a 4-game winning streak. Why would you bring that energy here? He apologized because he's like, sorry guys, you must be in loser's queue if you're on my team. We ended up losing the match, but it was real close. Like, one OT battle from winning and losing. It was close. Like, this wasn't a match that the game matchmaking had us destined to lose. And funny enough, this Iron Man was really good, but he botched a couple of his ultimates and he was super down on himself. He kept switching off and on. And I remember telling him after the game, like, you weren't playing bad. You had a lot of kills, you were getting good picks, you were pressuring their healers, like, you had a good game. What held you back was you were second guessing yourself and you were burnt. You needed a break to reset. And I told him, have fun, just calm down, like, it's a game. No one's gonna freak out if we lose. If we lose, we lose. You could have played better if you didn't have that negative mindset and you didn't lose so many games without taking a break. And he actually listened to me and ended up adding this player, and we've played since, and he's really good. And you know what? We did end up forming a friendship out of this. He added me, we play sometimes. He plays a really good Iron Man, and I play a lot of Squirrel Girl, so now we have a team up. And you know, he plays a lot of characters that I don't, and I play a lot of characters that he doesn't. A lot of the different healers he's trying to learn, I give him some pointers. He's been giving me some pointers on different characters that I don't know. Like, you can make friends in this game in pretty unique ways. But that's gonna wrap up my video. Ultimately, the goal here is to help you have fun with the game more and not stress about it. Like I said, it feels like a lot of the stress in this game and people, and the toxicity is just people fabricating it out of thin air. Coming up with reasons to be upset. Healers don't do damage enough and get kills, people get upset. But if they're not healing and trying to do damage, people get upset. If the DPS is only just DPSing, people get upset. But if they stop and help the backlines, Their numbers are gonna drop because they're trying to be a good teammate, yet now they're not getting enough kills. There's a million and one reasons to complain in this game. At the end of the day, just have fun. Try to make some friends. Like, I don't know. It's not super serious, and this game's in a really good spot. It's in a much better spot than people are trying to paint it to be. The devs made a great quality game from head to toe. Seems like they're trying to constantly work on the issues to make it better. They listen. And we got a lot of future Marvel characters that are really... And there's a lot of great Marvel characters that will eventually be added to the game. So on that note, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and as always, we will see you all in the next one. Later.